hello on the 16th of April, and I just wrapped up my previous 2 weeks, and I'm continuing this part of April with the same witch. And this is what I have right now, and just gonna continue do her filling in her skirt and do the legs. So like I said previously, I'm gonna be just continuing to this part, and hopefully by the end of this video I'm gonna have her all done. It's not a lot gonna be to do, like just the back stitching, no French knots like before. So I'm watching the Roop Group's video that was for Eurovision, and some other countries' music videos, which of course Eurovision is not gonna happen this year, sadly, but what can we do, right? So anyway, I'm gonna continue with this at least through tomorrow. We'll see if I can have another extra day worked into this, and you're probably gonna see in a second what I've done. And good morning on the 20th already of April, and all I can say is I've been working on this girl non-stop. What is it, 6th day, and I'm really itching now to work on something else. So we'll see what maybe today will be the stopping point. So I'll show you what I've done. So mostly I've been putting in full stitches in here. As you can see, all of her feet done up to this part. Kind of couple things to fill in there, and I decided to do more like a back stitching outlining. So the way I try to do is go every second, kind of like a stitch, nice and tightly, and then I'm gonna get another one thread and fill it in, and hopefully it makes a little bit more like a even line going throughout, versus like going back and forth. That would be broken down line. And I forgot to kind of put in some like a stars in there, so when I finish to the bottom, you can see like right here there's gonna be some stars underneath the hat going into the hair. So I'll need to put that in later on, but right now we're just filling in this part, and well, I don't know how much I'll be able to do today, but I don't know how much I can finish by the end of this month, only if I stick to this work, I guess. But by 5th of May maybe. We'll see anyway. So that's what she looks like right now. And good morning on the 21st of April, and I stitched today just an hour and decided to set this one aside. I finished the required stitches that I was doing, penalty stitches. So according to program, I have just over 93% done. So as you can see, all up to here, I started with the back stitching here and stopped because I didn't have a threads stitch in here. So there's gonna be some more skirt, outlining it, finishing the staff, and some more light things to happen. But considering since I've been stitching this one for a good week, I'm really itching to work on something else, and luckily I found something for this week's homework. And ta-da! So if you remember, this is Monthly Dragon Sal by a Russian designer, and we have to finish now backstitching by the end of this month in order to receive a next month's design. So I'm all ready, and program says it has like it's gonna be one color backstitch, but like 600 something in with one thread and over 200 with two threads, at least, you know, stitches in of one. So I'm gonna be using this as something to build a gingerbread house with. These things here are actually flowers, and no gingerbread house is gonna look inviting without, you know, some nature around it. And those are, I believe, butterflies also. So there's gonna be a tiny little boat in here, and need to get back to this to work and finish stitching it, outlining it, taking picture and sending it to designer. So let's start. I'm hoping it's not gonna last the whole week with this, so we'll see. You're probably gonna see this in a second how it's done. Yep, good afternoon on the 22nd. Happy Earth Day, everyone. Happy Earth Day, Earth. I'm sure she's relaxing right now, since all the humans supposed to be in a timeout in their rooms, and Earth is able to breathe and water flow and so forth. So it's might be raining later on today. I think it's like a April shower is gonna be kicking in soon. So what you see is my April dragon all done. I just had to do literally like outline a little bit in here, and that was it this morning. So in a slow way, I spent less than half an hour kind of staring at the YouTube and doing this. So I already went and took a nice nature picture with it, because we're supposed to send designer a nice picture, not just some kind of anyway laid out. And I'll be waiting for the May one. And so you can see that the back stitching was done not with the black, but it's like very dark brown with one and with two threads. So I'm very happy to see this guy finished. It kind of gets me into the summery season, so you can see all outlined things. And with this, I used that for my homework for this week, and then I'm gonna grab, I think, my May Witch again, which helps me with my other part of homework. And here she is. This is where I'm gonna be starting. So just gonna continue. Need to put in 300 stitches in something, a minion of my choice. And I love a witch. I love this witch because she can do all kinds of things with the flick of wand or flick of her fingers. So I might do some filling in, I might do some back stitching, I'm not sure yet. We'll see which way the wind blows. But this is what it looks now, and you'll see in a second what it looks like after at least 300 stitches put in. And good morning on the 23rd of April. It's raining outside, so it's a gloomy day. And I'll show you what I managed to do since a second ago for you. I did my homework. I did another extra homework part as a penalty stitch, and I started to do even more because I have less than 2% left to finish her. So I might be pushing myself to finish this this month. So as you can see, pretty much started put in French knots and some little stars. This way there's going to be some stitching like here that you can see, like right this part, and some little stars going around. So just concentrating and doing back stitching. There's going to be another color. So you see I go one way, and then once I finish the end I started coming back this way. Then I'll need to straighten out so the back stitching is more even line. but all the main stitching is all done. It's very exciting to see it's getting closer to finish. I might have another finish this month, yay. So yep, so I have to outline this and all that other stuff, and stars. I might have to unroll it then at the end just a tiny bit to finish it off, but I don't know. I know I was getting very tired of working on this lately, but seeing just how little it's left, it encourages me to just go forward. So you'll see if I can do more or not in about a second. Well, the witch is done. So it was very surprising, but I finished. Today is still 23rd in the late afternoon, and I can show you her up close. I still haven't straightened out some of those back stitching pieces, and just had to finish all of those weirdly positioned like a stars or something. So that's what she looks like. There's like a million French knots in this tunic part of her, and yeah, so all that's left is to wash her and iron her, and she's gonna be all nice and pretty and clean. So since I finished her, I figured out it's still not the end of the month, and I'd like to pull another whip to work on, and I'll show you which one. And ta-da, it's gonna be this mini space traveler. And like I said previously, I started to already pull out some colors, so even though it says 87, I don't have that much left, and that's all that's left from previous times. So this is what I'm gonna begin today to work on. It's part of Full Coverage Fanatics, one of the parks, and I'm gonna do some stitching for one of those extra points in Magical School. So I don't know what I'm gonna pick up. Probably just continue some more threads fill in, and I don't know if I'll finish by the end of the month, but it would be so cool to do it. We'll see, because then Monday is gonna be a new week for Magical School. But it's very exciting to have 2 works done in 2 days and pick something else, big one. This is my oldest whip so far, so let's grab it and get work on it. And hello on the 24th of April, and I've been working on this, and guess what, guys? Just about 200 stitches left. It's so exciting. I'm getting closer to the finish line. This is my oldest whip. So as you see, I'm working with the cryining this area. There's gonna be some regular threads in here left, and there's one lonely right here, one lonely cryining is gonna be shining. So I think I can finish it today. Yay, exciting. I'm gonna push for this finish, and during that I'm watching just Within Temptations kind of concert. So yeah, it pumps me up. So I think the next time you see this is gonna be all done. Wish me luck. And just a short time away, and I'm putting a very last stitch in the last corner. Over 3 years of work, pa-pam, done. So I'll take it off the frame, and then it will go to bath. And this is what it looks like a whole thing of the Q-snaps, of the frames, and of course it still has lines from Q-snap and wrinkles after all those years. So it's again 337 by 198, I believe, height, and this is 18 count 2/1 with some cryining. So the next step is to go soak in water to wash off some of those markings and the dirt and all other stuff. So off to bath. Well, I'm saying hello on the morning of 27th, and all the stitching and back stitching is fully done on my dragon. It took forever for this sweet stocks to back stitch, and I think I did a fairly okay job. I still need to straighten out some of them so it would look more smooth, but good thing was that I looked up on my pattern app, and I noticed that there's some like 40 some more French knots missing in here, so it's going to be a little bit here and I think there. So that's the last thing to do, and it's still April, so this hopefully will be finished today, so it would be fourth finish this month. And if I really tried to finish it yesterday, the Sunday, and got too tired to do French knots, it would have been 4 finishes in 1 week. That would have been amazing. Well, it's better than I think than I've done in a long time. So you're gonna see in a second how this thing is filled up. And he's all done, or she. So just put in some here, and one eye French knot. So this cutie, first of my collection to be finished, is gonna go take a plunge in water, not a beer but a water. So very exciting. First finish of this week, but the 4th of this month, and he's not tiny. He's 137 by 146 stitch on 32 count black Belfast fabric. So it's a linen, so that's why you see some of like uneven stitches. And I started during StitchMaynia 2018, and I had some epoxy accidentally dropped on this, so I have to put some big heat in there to try to melt it out and get it out. So wish me luck with that. And together with this one, I have another one going for a bath. It's my witch. HAED Space Traveler is already done bath, it just needs iron. And I have an ornament, which is smaller. So here are my 2 of the finishes of April month. Exciting! So I'm really very happy to do some finishes, since I don't get that often. Okay. So we'll see what we'll pull out next. It's a new homework week, and since the month is ending on what, Thursday or something, so it's a shorter week, and so we have to do weekly homework and monthly and all the extra credits that we can until Thursday. So we'll see what I pull out next for those things. Well, I picked my this week's short week's homework. So I decided that I would love to be sequestered with this red ornament ball. It's right here right now, so I'd love to finish this also on a binge of finishes. So I already finished 4 like in 6 days, and I've never done a circle ornament like this before, and they're just so darn cute. I mean, just look at this cutie face. I hope it turns out exactly as it is. And this one is too. So I have to stitch 400 stitches on this one, and this is what I'm gonna be starting with today. It's still evening of 27th. I kitted up a couple more big projects and used up what I had in my boxes of extra DMC, so there's only a couple that I need to order threads, but the rest of it I cut up. I hung on those kind of like a Paco organizers. This is like 30 that I'm using for mouse. So yeah, you can see empty spots. That's what I already used up. and the program shows, Saga program shows how much it's left and how many stitches of each is done, etc. So I love it. So I can tell, also it tells you approximately how much of the thread you need to use for each color depending on the fabric size you pick. So that's what I did for my big ones. I cut it up approximately what it told me and hung on those things. So leftover threads, skeins can be used for other projects if need be, like something like smaller little things. So this is what I'm starting, and I guess the next time you'll see it will be at least 400 stitches more. And I'm saying hello on the later afternoon of the 29th. So as you can see, I finished my main stitching except the bottom, so all of the top ones are done, and I went again past my required homework points, and I'm stitching more. So I'll show you the magic of back stitching. Da, 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 da. Can you tell how much more cuter they are when they're like fully backstitched, right? So yeah, that even this little guy with the holding cheese is looking so happy. It's like a Christmas came to him or her. And as you can see, that was what 100 stitches were needed for a homework. So it's almost to the bottom, and that's, I think, the only color left. Majority, maybe there's on the top a little bit of a different color, but that's like main color left for the bottoms. And I decided to do some back stitching because it's much more fun to look on finished ones than unfinished, right? The back stitching, the magic of rounding them around, and you can tell all the difference it makes, and all those whiskers and stuff. So I love how it's turning out, and it's exciting. This morning / afternoon I again had my live with Lithuanian stitchers, and hopefully seemed like this time I did something better, and the live streaming was much better quality, not breaking down like the last one was at the end. I've been studying and watching all kinds of tutorials about the streaming and things like that. So yep, that's why I'm trying to entertain my fellow stitchers in different language, because they're all stuck at home. But I have not stopped stitching so far. So tomorrow is the last day, and I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to do on these cuties so far, but I don't think I can finish by the end of this month, today and tomorrow. But it will definitely should be finished in May. I don't know. Yep, I don't think I can finish it. I'm not that super fast because I get distracted by watching more Flosstube videos and a family, of course. So, all right, well, I think it's gonna be one more short clip of video before I'm gonna wrap up the month of April. I'll do tomorrow my StitchMaynia plans, and will be some bunch of video editing time spent tomorrow too. So this is what it looks like now, and in another second you will see how I ended up with. Well, you see this, and that's, I think, where I'm gonna stop for this month, since I have to do editing and then gather all my stuff for StitchMaynia things and plan out and wrap up this month. So as you can see, practically all back stitching in the black 310 is done. There's gonna be some like a whiskers extending this way, so I kind of stopped because I did like 500 worth of full stitches in the back stitching for one of the extra individual assignments, and so that's why this one is hanging. And I finished the other colors that needed to be in red, so only one red color left to kind of fill in the bottoms, and there's going to be a few more colors to do for back stitching, like it's going to be outlined with one color, and then a little bit of in the bodies, I think some light color. So it's not a lot left, but I think it's gonna be May finish only, which is good because, you know, I might not have any other finishes in May possibly. So 4 finishes in April, I think it's all good. So that's where I'm gonna leave this red ball ornament at for the next time. And then in a second I'll just show you what I received, something small from 123 Stitch and from my subscriptions. And I decided to try a little piece I've never done on a Congress cloth. It's this much thicker, kind of sturdier fabric that has a bigger holes. So it's almost like what would be when if you stitch on a 40 count silk, big kind of holes. Of course, this is 24 count, not 40. But as just I don't know, is that cotton, I think, fabric, but this is how I received. Interestingly, that the way it was cut, like at this side, it was just cut as folded, because when I unfold it, I'll show you what it becomes, this like a wave thing. It's I'll have to figure out how to go. I mean, you can kind of see. So I think it's the first fabric that came on surge from them, and I had to wait quite a bit to receive this, almost 3 weeks. And then I was trying to fill out my orders, because I started collecting these hands-on design ornament patterns, and kind of slowly 1 or 2 I'm getting to fill in. So I got swans, maids, pipers, and drummers. I think there's a couple more only left. I can't remember exactly. I'll have to put this in my Evernote app to see. That's where I keep all my stitch information and non-stitching. Then I grabbed the Q-snap frames thingies. They're always useful since I make my own like stand-up Q-snap holders. And I got this big 16 count fabric Aida. I know some people prefer to stitch on this versus 18 count because the X's are not as packed, so it still gives a good coverage. So we'll see. I know a lot of dimensions kits usually are sort of like a similar color, and 16 count, some of them come in the 18 count, and I've done before, but with dimensions is different than just doing regular stitching, because they do with like 3, 4, 5 even, sometimes threads like in a half stitch and things, so it's not always just the plain X's. So, and I got this, and slowly collecting, wanted to try this Soie d'Alger French silk that comes as a collection for not hands-on design, hands across the sea samplers. So I have a couple of samplers from from her, and this is one of the colors. So I wanted to see how it works. I'm still trying to decide if I wanted to get all silks for their samplers, or should I try the DMC equivalent that's given. But it's very nicely nice feeling of silks, of course. But that was all I got from them. I know it's very small. Also, I received something from I'll show you, Fiber Talk. So at the Easter they had a live thing. It's a podcast. Gary and Vonna, Vonna Pfeiffer, Twisted Stitch are doing. So I answered some of the questions right away, and I won this Debbie's design. So these are like eggs. Usually Debbie's, I think, has like a needle point work, but these eggs are fully covered in the stitches, and there's some like little extra things gonna be on top, but I don't have a lot of Eastery stuff, so that's gonna be interesting to do. Seems like there's like different patterns happening. So thank you guys for getting me this. I know it was crazy time, and they had a little trouble with all the winnings and lagging because it was way over 1,000 people logged in and at the same time. So very exciting. Maybe I'll have at least one of them done by next Easter. Not sure. My plans always kind of fly around. And also I got this month Just Cross Stitch magazine of June, and I don't know, for me all of the projects were kind of very simple. Some of them are like a super simple, or something that I was not very interested. Like this would be for me probably half a day, but it's not something that interests me. So still I might change my mind sometime in the future and do something like this. I mean, these that were on front Eastery kind of thing look unique, but so far I don't have anything that I really want to stitch like right now out of this catalog, but it's still good to have a collection before when I got rid of all of the older catalogs, magazines I mean, so from some years back. I wish I had. So that's all my little tiny purchases in April so far. So I'm very been doing very good with not doing a lot of shopping. I'll do some orders more with the local needlework shop here that I requested something, so that probably will come sometime in May. But I think that's all for right now, for end of April. So I hope you enjoyed seeing all my progresses in the past few weeks, and it was interesting reading previous comments with the guesses, because I have 10 in 20 challenge stitching, so people were starting to guess what I'm gonna finish first or what might be last ones, because I don't know myself. So we'll see what floats my boat. But I hope you guys gonna leave a comment. Don't forget to click like, and if you're not subscribing, yes, please click that. And I'll be there next time, and next video is gonna come out in Lithuanian language, a monthly overview, and I'm gonna have my StitchMaynia plans, at least what I'm planning, which might change, of course. Depends that's how I feel, and of homework of magical school. So that's that. Very exciting. 4 finishes in this episode, so that's very exciting. Yep. Since the last one was in beginning of January. So till the next time, this was Jurgita saying bye-bye. Stay healthy, stay well, and keep on stitching.